Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Cryer with BHS Realty Group in Gerald, Texas, and I'm here today visiting with a longtime friend of mine, Jerry Griffis, with Eagle Eye Home Inspections of Texas, or Eagle Eye Inspections of Texas. You can find him on social media, on websites and stuff. And today, Jerry and I are going to kind of talk about things that home buyers should look for in today's market. Because whenever you go into a house, you really go in just for the first time. You only have 15, maybe 30 minutes to go in and look around. So during that first impression, Jerry, what as coming from a home inspector, what would be some of the things that somebody would look for whenever they first walk into a house?
I think just how well it's been maintained.
Okay.
You can tell a lot by just looking at the finishes and stuff.
Okay.
Of course, you want to look for cracks. Those are usually the easy signs, or
Around the doors and around the windows
around
and
the top
stuff.
of the doors and the windows.
Okay.
If it's brick, you can look down the side of the wall and make sure that the mortar lines are straight.
Okay.
If they're crooked, there's been some settlement issues. Water damage is the main issue with houses nowadays. I mean,
Okay.
it just usually around the windows and the flooring. And you look at the ceiling for watermarks.
Okay.
So
So is that because the water heater and the air conditioning and stuff is in the attic now?
usually most of them are up there and they're plumbed right. They should function correctly, but
Okay.
and if the roof is old, you can usually tell looking outside at the roof if shingles are curled or missing granules, or
Okay.
it's pretty easy to spot.
Yeah, and back to the air conditioning system, if somebody hadn't been properly maintenance in that system, that's going to be important too. But also
Yes.
that drain line can clog, and that can create problems with the ceiling too, right?
Correct. Yeah, if the condensation line gets plugged up, then yes, it'll back up and overflow into your ceiling.
Okay. Yeah. So back to the roof and the shingles. Normally, on the first impressions, I mean, we see that as we're walking up to the house. It's a pretty quick
Yeah.
view of that. So, just looking at it, I mean, probably no more than about 30 seconds or a minute whenever you're walking up to the house to look up on the shingles.
Yeah.
Um, that's, we don't see very much stuff down there either as realtors or people looking to buy the house. That's why it's really important for people to call you, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I will walk on the roof if it's safe, and I will be able to tell you the condition of it and if it's had hail damage or if it needs some patch or replaced.
So, can you tell about how old the roof is from being up there?
Sometimes you can, but it's kind of hard. It depends on a lot of factors. If it's in direct sunlight or how well it was installed, that has a lot to do with it. If it wasn't installed correctly, then it's going to deteriorate faster. So it's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
Okay.
So
All right. And so then something else that kind of sticks back in the back of my mind, you were talking about cracks and then bricks a minute ago at the same time. There's a difference whenever you see a brick crack and it goes through the brick versus going with the mortar line, right?
correct. If it's going through the brick, it's usually a major or more of a major issue. If it's just a little settlement crack, it usually follows the mortar joint.
Okay.
So
And so, but if it actually has enough force to break that brick or crack
Yes.
it, then that means we may be looking at some possible foundation stuff,
correct.
right?
Yeah, you probably need to get a professional out there to look at it.
So, and because in this area, we're seeing a lot of rock houses, the white rock, because it's very popular. Does that same kind of thing happen with the white rock versus the brick?
It can. It just depends on how well it was, put together.
Okay.
How well the slab is done.
And then, what about some of the other appliances? What can somebody see from just opening the dishwasher or maybe the garbage disposal or things like that?
Well, you can run the disposal, and usually you can tell by sound.
Okay.
If rough, you may need to replace it. The dishwasher, usually you open it up and look for rust. I mean,
Okay.
that's a real telltale sign that it's old.
Okay.
Or might need to be replaced soon. So
And then, you know, sometimes the refrigerator conveys with the sale, sometimes it doesn't, but if it does convey, what can the people buying the house, what can they, look for just, from, you know, because again, people are going through, they're just opening things, they're looking, you know, does it feel right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then, after that decision's made, then they kind of go further into the home inspection process and things like that. But what can you look at on a refrigerator and kind of see?
Well, if the refrigerator comes with the house, usually I'll do a temperature check on it, but it's pretty much the same thing. Just, you know, look at it, what kind of shape is it in? That's all I'll do. I'll do that in a temperature check, just make sure it works correctly. If it has a water, I'll make sure that, you know, water's coming out.
Okay. What are good temperatures for a refrigerator?
Around the freezer, usually around 0, refrigerator around 30, 32 degrees, somewhere around there.
All that's Fahrenheit?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. And so, so then going out maybe through the rest of the house, into the bathrooms and stuff, what would people look for there?
The same thing, water damage. Open the cabinets underneath the sink. You can run water, see if there's any leaks. You can always tell at the bottom of the cabinet if you've ever had a water leak, because usually it's plywood, it'll swell. You can see ripples in it. Kind of the same thing with the shower. I mean, you can look, make sure the caulking around the shower is good. If it's not good, you more likely might have a leak on your hands when they take a shower.
Okay.
Just little things like that. It's all maintenance issues, and you can tell a lot by just how well they've kept the house.
Yeah.
You know?
And rubber seals around the shower doors and things like
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Okay. And, so let's talk about the rubber seals around the regular doors, the front door and the back door. I know that there's sophisticated tests that we can do to find out if there's air leakage there, but what can a homeowner do?
An easy test is shut the door, turn the lights off, and just look all the way around the door and see if you see light. That's just a quick and easy, something anybody can do.
So you're looking for daylight?
Looking for daylight, yes.
Okay. And, so then, go ahead.
Same thing with the back door, and to the garage. If you have a garage door, it's gotta be sealed and have a self-closer on it. So
Okay.
that way if gas or something's in the garage, it won't get back into your house.
Okay. Oh, on the door that goes from the house to the garage?
Yes.
Yeah, those have to have spring-loaded hinges on them now, right?
Yep.
And even the, whenever you're doing a home inspection, I've talked to some inspectors, and they're actually, suggesting that if the house, even though if it's all electric, that you still have a carbon monoxide detector.
Yes, I would. I mean, it's only makes your house safer.
Yeah, because a lot of people do in the wintertime start their car, because we all have electric starts now.
Yep.
And
Garage
so
doors shut, cars running.
yeah, and you don't even think about it, even though that could be a hazard.
Yeah.
So, and so then if we walked out to the backyard, patio, ceiling fans, what else can you kind of tell me about what people should be looking for?
On a patio, it's mainly rot. You want to make sure, you know, all the wood and everything's good. You don't want any wood touching ground. You gotta have, you know, I like to see at least 4 inches, 2 to 6 inches.
Between the bottom of the house and the
ground,
and the
correct.
grass,
Yeah,
okay.
and any post or anything like that too. So, I mean, you mainly look for a lot of water damage. It's usually pretty easy to tell.
Yeah, that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Sounds like one of the main issues.
It
that we
is the
see
main
in
issues
Central Texas.
that will get your house is water. So you gotta have good roof, good caulking around all your windows, and anything that protrudes through the outside wall needs to be sealed.
Yeah. So some of the things that we're talking about today, we're talking about things that home buyers are looking at whenever they're walking up, but home sellers could use this same information to get their house ready, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's even when you're selling a house, it's probably good to have an inspector come out and inspect it, and he can tell you what's wrong, what needs to be fixed. So that way, when someone wants to buy it, there's not an issue. So
Right.
it just goes smoothly. So
Yeah, that's good advice. And, so yeah, is there anything else that you wanna kind of bring up that we could talk about that may help home buyers and home sellers?
just this market nowadays is, I know it's going fast. Just, take a breath, deep breath, take a good look at everything, make a good informed decision. Make sure you get an inspection because you don't want to come up with some surprises in the end.
Right. And so, because things are happening so fast, are you able to respond?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I had one yesterday, wanted it within 3 days, so
Okay.
I can
So,
get to them.
3 to 5 days is no
Yes.
problem. Good. All right. And so how can people reach out to you? What's your phone number?
My phone number is area code 512
Okay.
567 3260.
All right. Again, this is Jerry Griffis with Eagle Eye Inspections of Texas, and my name is Barry Cryer with BHS Realty Group in Gerald. If you need anything from me, you can reach out to our website at bhsrealtygroup.com, or you can find us on Facebook. Thank you and have a good day.